good afternoon, good evening in the rest of the world. Welcome again sa ating channel, VIVRE by Ana. Ito na naman tayo. Yun, panibagong araw, panibagong buhay, at siyempre, dapat everyday happy. So, ako'y masayang-masaya pala. Ako'y masayang-masaya dahil nakabili ako ng galunggong. Alam niyo yung galunggong, hindi ko alam ang English sa galunggong, pero it is galunggong. Kasi sa Pilipinas, ito ay pangmasang isda. Ito yung madalas natin kinakain ng mga Pilipino. So ngayon, tuwan-tuwa ako at ako'y nakabili. So ipapakita ko sa inyo kung ano yung nabili kong isda. At meron pa ako isang nabiling isda, pero hindi ko siya kilala. Pero sabi nila masarap daw ito sa curry. Ikakari ko siya na hindi karing Indian, pero Filipino. So magbabalik tayo right after the intro. Galunggong, nakita nyo, napakasariwa ng galunggong. Ngayon, hihiwalay ko yung dalawa kasing klase ng isda yung nabili ko. Ito. Hindi ko alam ang tawag dito. I don't know what's the name of this fish in English. They say it's not even Ayaw. Ano kayang tawag dito sa isda na to? Hindi ko alam. Pero masarap siya, tinaray ko na siya gawing parang pangat. Yung may tomato, onion at saka lang, iboboil mo lang siya, tapos lalagyan mo lang siya ng tamarind. So ito ngayon yung magiging lunch natin. Ito yung galunggong, masarap yan sa adobo at saka sa pirito, di ba? Minsan sinasarsyado ko pirito, tapos lalagyan ng itlog. So yan, separate natin kasi lilinisin na natin siya. Alam niyo ba kung magkano lang ito? Ito is 150 ang kg. Ito 150 rupees. At ito namang galunggong na malala na medyo medium size is 50 rupees lang yan. 50 rupees lang yung per kg niya. So, napakamura, diba? Napakamura dito sa India na mga ganitong bilihin. Tsaka dito meron ang mga fish talaga dito, mga fresh kasi hinuhuli, may beach area diba dito sa aming area. So kaya mas mura siya dahil may mga playa or mga beach may mga port dito malapit sa amin. So ayan, na-sort na natin siya. Ayan, nakita nyo, ang lalaki, di ba? Ang ganda. Fresh na fresh siya, oh. Diba? So ngayon linisin na natin to. Ay natutuwa kasi alam mo naman tayo mga Pilipino, lagi tayong makaisda tayo. More of isda tayo kaysa sa mga meat, di ba? Ako prefer ko talaga ang meat, ang fish over meat kaysa tsaka vegetables. At ang anak ko gusto rin yung mga ganitong yung ganitong isda. Pero mas prepare niya yung yung ayla or yung mackerel. Mas masarap, at saka yung mati or yung sardines. So ito ako naman, ito hindi nila masyadong kinakain to. Ito yung isda na hindi masyadong kinakain dito sa mga in-laws ko. Kasi ewan ko ba ba't di nila kinakain to. So linisin na natin tong galunggong. Di ba ang gaganda, oh? Ang fresh na fresh yung galunggong. Linisin na natin siya.
Now our round scad is already clean and we will make adobo. Adobo is a famous dish in Philippines which has the basic ingredients of vinegar, we use palm vinegar, and soy sauce. There's a lot of varieties of adobo, like you can use it for meat, chicken, fish, vegetables like string beans, and kangkong, which is the water spinach. But now we will be cooking the fish, which is the galunggong, which is mostly it is used, this galunggong or the round scad is used for, basically it's adobo only. And we love it in our house to have this adobo. So now let's cook the adobo. We need the dark soy sauce. Here we use Happy dark soy sauce. The white vinegar or the synthetic white vinegar, we use it here in India. The fish sauce, the black pepper powder, and we also need Garlic, I use a lot of garlic because it is better to have, the taste is better when you use a lot of garlic. You need also onion, chili, green chilies, and I also use this laurel leaf. We usually use this laurel leaf or bay leaves, and I also incorporating this whole spices, Indian whole spices like star anise, cloves, and cardamom. It is better, the aroma is better, and it will really add additional taste when you have the Indian spices in the adobo, which in Philippines we don't really usually use whole spices. We only use the bay leaves on it. So, and this the round scad of course for this adobo. So now let's start cutting all this or chopping the garlic, the onions, and the chilies. So now let's put the whole spices and the basil leaves in one plate, and let's all cut this garlic. I use a lot of garlics as what I've said. And first, let's cut the onions. I only use 2 onions because a lot of onions is that we don't really use a lot of onions in Philippines. Maximum that you use for a dish is 2 or 3 pieces. Now, so after we finish washing all this garlic, chilies, and onion, let's start cutting it. You just need a pan. We can just put all the ingredients directly in the pan because this doesn't need any sauteing. Unlike if you use meat or vegetables, you need to saute it, or you need to separately put these ingredients in a plate, and then you use an oil and then saute it. But then in this round scad adobo, you don't need to do that one. So let's just crush all this garlic. As what I've said, you need to use a lot of garlic in this round scad adobo because it will give you good taste, good aroma because of the garlic. So that's why I'm using like 8 cloves of garlic, because I love to have garlic taste in this adobo. And also the onion is actually 2 pieces only because we really don't use much of onion. But however, Filipinos usually use onion, one piece of onion whenever we only saute or we only put in our dishes, because we're not that much into this kind of onion. Not like the Indian curry or Indian dishes, they use a lot of onions. So now let's cut the onion. We just need to slice it like this and start separating it or smashing it in the pan. See, I told you you just need to directly place all these ingredients in the pan. And also the chili, you need to cut it into half only. It's not that much chili. If you really also wanted to make it more spicy, you need to put chili powder. But now let's put the soya sauce together with this onion, garlic, and chili. And then the white vinegar or the synthetic vinegar. In Philippines, as what I've said, we usually use palm vinegar. Palm vinegar is really tasty when it comes to adobo rather than this white synthetic vinegar. And now it's time to put half teaspoon of black pepper powder, and then the fish sauce. In Philippine dish, we usually use fish sauce, but however, if you don't have fish sauce, you can also use the salt. And then we start putting all these whole spices like basil, cloves, and star anise, which this is the Indian spices. Now just stir it like this. It's not yet cooked, we're not yet putting it in the stove. And then some oil. You can use palm oil, you can use sunflower oil. I don't prefer to use coconut oil because coconut oil has a different taste with the adobo. So it's better for you to use sunflower and palm oil. Now let's put the round scad or the galunggong. We call it galunggong. As what I've said, this is one of the famous fish in Philippines. You can also put water to make it more saucy, or to have a curry on it. But then if you don't like, you can just make this adobo like less sauce. But I prefer a bit of sauce. So now let's cover it and start putting it in the pan. You just need to put it in a low flame. So at the moment it will be in a high flame, but then you have to put it in a low flame. And put it in a low flame, you have to cook it in 45 minutes in order for this fish to cook slowly. That is the secret of having the adobo, especially this round scad adobo, because it needs to have the fish. If you put a high flame or high fire, it will cook easily. So but then if you put low flame, or the taste of the ingredients will be there in the fish. So now this is actually cooked halfway. We just check it if the sauce is already reducing, or this curry is already reducing. Now actually the fish is a bit soft, but then I'm starting to just flip it over. But then it is not necessary to flip it over, because actually it is cooking the fish like that only. It's okay. And then also you have in cooking halfway, you have to taste it as well to check whether the saltiness and the spiciness, the prepared spiciness you have, because the green chili is actually a bit spicy here. And also in Philippines, if we use this green chili, it's a bit spicy. Now let's taste it and let's check if the taste is good. Okay, halfway you have to taste it. Otherwise, when you cook it for 45 minutes and you didn't taste it, then it will be difficult for you to balance the taste. Now I think the taste is perfect. It's okay now, and then we just need to still wait for another 15 minutes for it to finish. Let's cover it. And now the adobo is already cooked. Here it is. Look at the sauce. The sauce is already reduced, and this is perfectly cooked. This is how we want it. I hope you learned something from this vlog, and thank you for watching, everyone. Please subscribe in our channel, VIVRE by Anna, and God bless. Stay safe. Bye.
Sorry, it's DJ.